Patrick Bet David of the Patrick Bet David podcast, as well as Valuetainment, who was born in Iran, absolutely hates the Islamic Iranian regime. And so everyone else should. And according to Patrick Bet David, who was born in Iran, his parents can't go back to Iran. Iran, under the Shah, there was peace, there was stability, there was prosperity, there was no wars. And then when the Shah fell, guess what happened? Wars came. It's all the result of Islam, isn't it? So people can blame Israel all they want for the atrocities that are going on in the Middle East at the moment, but it's not Israel's fault. I said that in the video that I made yesterday. People love to blame Israel. As Douglas Murray pointed out in one of his videos that he made 13 years ago, everyone is going to blame Israel because they've got no common sense. Everyone will go after Israel, but when they're in their homes, they will say, thank God for Israel that they have the guts to do what no one else in the West has to do. Patrick Bet David sees the exact same thing. Israel is not the problem. The one that started all of this is Iran. They've got lots of money and they've funneled a lot of that money into all of these terrorist organization proxies. And people need to be smart enough to realize that that's going on. But unfortunately, they're not. They'd much rather blame Israel and say that Israel, they're the dirty ones. They're the ones that are committing all the atrocities. No, they're the ones that are trying to stop Islam from spreading, because Islam is spreading quite rapidly. Have a watch of Patrick Bet David share his thoughts about what's going on at the moment with Israel attacking Iran.
The person that was born in Iran, yes, I can't stand this regime. Yes, they've called the only thing that's been persistent and consistent is the following. When the Shah was in Iran, did Israel already exist?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Was Israel causing chaos? Was there war in the Middle East? Let me say this one more time. When Iran was ran by the Shah, what year was the Shah of Iran? What years did he run Iran?
53 through 79, I think.
Okay, 53 is the oil consortium, so 54 is the oil consortium. 41 to 79.
Oh, wow.
Because he started at 21 years old, young man, right? 41 to 79. When did Israel become a nation?
48.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. Why is it that between 48 to 79, while the Shah was the king of Iran, running Iran, why is it for 31 years there is no major war in the Middle East? Why is that? So to the people that want to say it's all Israel's fault, how come there wasn't that in Iran for 31 years? I'm curious. Answer that question for me. And why is it from 79, when the mullahs, the Hezbollahs, the IRGC, all these guys, the Khomeinis, all of them took over, why has there been chaos in the Middle East in 79? Whose fault is that? America's been consistent. Yes, I know America wanted the oil from Iran, and yes, I know UK wanted it, and MI6 and CIA and all this stuff. And yes, I also am aware that the Shah didn't trust Israel. The Shah didn't trust, what they were doing with media and finance and the ambition and the level and the control and the influence and all that stuff. He knew what was going on there. He wanted to compete with them. He didn't see himself as a victim. He's like, we're going to be doing the same thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's too ambitious and he thinks he can go up against all of us. Let's take this guy out. We need chaos in the Middle East. Oh, shit. Even Israel being involved, let's just say for Iran and the Shah fallen, there is chaos now in the Middle East. On who, though? On who, though? Who did that? So, yeah, for me, the most consistent thing behind the chaos in the Middle East has been Iran.
The most consistent thing behind the chaos in the Middle East is Iran. More specifically, the chaos is due to Islam, because all of the terrorist proxies that have sprung up is because of Islam saying that we are the true religion. Every other religion in the Middle East and even around the world is the false religion. Hence why you've got members that are saying and chanting death to America, death to the West. Why is that? If they're truly peaceful, why are they chanting that hateful and vile thing. It makes no sense. Why are they starting wars everywhere? Why does their proxy, Hamas, why do they build tunnels and use human shields? What about that? So the Shah was in power for a long time, and there wasn't conflict for a long time. One has to ask, when the Shah fell and the Islamic regime took power, what happened after that? Conflict arose. And Patrick Bet-David is right. If you study history, history is not going to lie to you. History is going to tell you plain and simply, this is what went on. And you've got to ask yourself the question, why is Israel now fighting to destroy the Islamic regime? They're going to topple Iran at the moment. They're going to topple it. And guess what? They're going to free the Iranian people because that's what they deserve. The Islamic regime in Iran is oppressive. The way they treat their citizens is oppressive. The only ones that can get something in that regime are the top brass, the commanders, the military ones. And guess what? The leader of the Islamic regime, he's going to die too. Mark my words. Everyone can see it. His time is numbered. Israel is not going to give up, especially not after Iran backfired. They fired missiles into Tel Aviv recently, killing 14 innocent Israelis. You think Israel is going to let that slide? No. They're going to go in full ball. Obviously, they're not going to be targeting innocent civilians. They're going to be targeting the regime leaders because that's how you topple a regime, because the Iranian people want freedom. I saw videos. I don't know if they're accurate or not, but can only imagine that they would be, considering how close they are to being free of a oppressive regime. Wouldn't you do the same thing? Chant and dance in the street? Like, especially the women. Loads of them are sick of it. So they're taking off their hijabs and their burqas and everything, and their niqabs as well, and chanting and dancing in the streets, going, F the mullah, F the Islamic regime. They're done with it. I think everyone in the West is done with it. Trump's done with it. I don't think Trump wants the Iranian leaders, the Islamic, to reign supreme anymore. So he's allowed Israel to do what they're doing at the moment. And for good reason. This is not a war that we need to get involved in. We just need to let Israel do what they need to do for the sake of actual stability and peace in the region, because there can be no peace, ladies and gentlemen, if Islam is there. If Islam still exists, guaranteed there can be no peace, because they don't want peace unless they are in control. And even then, it's not peaceful. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.